How an income annuity reduces retirement risk. All right, so this is a video I've been working on for a couple days, and I've been literally working on this for decades. I've done videos similar to this in the past, but it's something I've been thinking about recently a lot, actually. All right, so I think I did a video on the whiteboard. Well, you can't see it. That's the whiteboard right there. Just the other day, talked about I used to work with this guy at USA named Mark, and we used to strategize how to incorporate income annuities. And it was always a good way to look at it, because we say, if you take some risk assets off the table and turn those into income assets, inherently you're reducing your risk to your portfolio, because you reduce literally the risk to your portfolio. It's just that simple. You've taken away risk assets and turned them into income assets. And that can work without question. And I want to share with that here today. And this isn't to say you should put everything into annuity. Not saying that this is not talk about variable annuities, fixed deferred annuities, index annuities. This is talk about income annuities, SPIA, single premium income annuity. So I want to share with you something here. So we're going to jump into Right Capital. Josh and Charlotte, I'm 60, she is 58 years old. All right, we're going to go to our profile here. We got Million Schmackaroonies, and it's in my IRA, and it's based on a moderate portfolio, 60-40 stocks to bonds, all right? And what a moderate portfolio in my scenario is, using Right Capital, I get 5.3% rate of return on average. That's our expected rate of return, 5.3, with a standard deviation of 10. So what just simply means is on any given year, we could be down about 25%. Which is basically what happened in 2008. All right, so we're not getting near historical rates of return. I'm only giving you what I said, 5.3. However, we're still assuming the same risk that we had in 2008. All right, I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to show you something here. And what we're doing is our income. We need. Hold on a second. We're taking our goals right there. We need $40,000 a year of income. And we're inflation adjusting it for inflation. So that's the 4% rule. We need $40,000 off a $1 million portfolio, adjusting it for inflation with a 5.3% expected rate of return and a 25% downside risk on any given year. All right. So what is the ability now? Charlotte, I'm going to have her because everything's based on the life expectancy as well. And so I'm going to live until I'm 85. So I got 25 years, and Charlotte is going to live until she's 88. So she's got 30 years. So we have a 30-year retirement plan here. And my dogs are upstairs yapping and crapping. All right, so let's just run this number. So 40,000 is what we need. And what about healthcare? What about inflation? We're already inflating it. We're adjusting this for inflation. What about healthcare? We're just saying we need 40. Let me just go here one second. I'm going to change this over to current allocation. We need $40,000 a year is what we need. All right, so what's our likelihood of success? 51% probability of success. Let's make sure that looks good here. We're going to scroll down, look at everything. It looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Everything looks good there. All right, sweet. So we need 40,000 a year adjusted for inflation based on using roughly a 3% inflation, give or take. Well, we're not using healthcare, so about roughly 3, I think. Something like 2.5 to 3% inflation. As you can see, our expenses going up each and every year. There's our expenses. Our tax payments are going up each and every year as well. So we're pulling, when you factor in taxes, by the way, this is one of the things the 4% rule doesn't have to pull. We're actually taking 4.2 out this year because we got factor in taxes. So our spending is 40,000, that's 4% plus taxes, so it's a 4.2%, if that makes sense. And you can see by the time I'm good and gone, Charlotte's going to be living right here off 61,000 because I spent 22,000 a year. And her taxes were going to go up quite a bit. That's a widow's tax trap right there. And that's another reason why an income annuity actually works pretty well. So we're going to show you the widow's tax trap. You can see, look at that effective tax rate. That jumps a significant. Look at that. Effective tax rate 4.3 to 8.4. That's literally a doubling. If you can see the tax bracket here, a big jump from 10% to 15%. That's a 50% increase in a tax bracket as well. Anyway, either way, so we're coming out here. We got about 51% probability of success. The median amount of money we're leaving is $15,000, and that just shows you that right here. So we're still looking pretty good here, man. I mean, 5%, 25% of the time we'll run out of money when she's 83 years old. By the time she's 90, right here, over. What was that, about 48% of the time she ran out of money. That's assuming her spending goes adjusted for inflation each and every year. All right, hope that makes sense. So that's what we're looking at here. All right, let me pause real quick. Let me show you. Her total outflows are 1.985 right there. You can see her total outflow. I'm going to put 1.985 outflows. Her total taxes are our total taxes 119. Right? How much does she have left at death if we just do a linear 5.3% amount? She'd have 552,000 left at death. 552,000. If we just do a 5.3% linear rate of return, we're not going to get a 5.3% linear rate of return. We're going to get like that. That's why we do the Monte Carlos instead. All right, and if I'm talking fast, I just got to get this off my chest. I've been thinking about this for a long time. So now what we're going to do instead is we're going to take 400,000 and do it into an immediate annuity. So we're going to drop this down to 600,000, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to keep the same portfolio. We're going to come over here to an income annuity, and that would pay us 24,000 a year. All right, and that is not adjusted for inflation. Not adjusted for inflation. All right, so now let's see what we got here. And so we went from 51% to 50% to 50%, all right? And our median is 7,127 we're leaving left over. So we actually reduced our success probability, but I'm going to share with you something else here in just a second. And what you can see here was our total net flows are still 1.98, and our tax, let me just redo this one, blink. Our tax payments still says 119. Yeah, okay, I got the zero there. That's strange. Let me just hold a second and pause it. The exact same taxes. That seems odd to me. I'm not sure if yeah, those two things still the same. Either way. So we're going to come down here. We're going to go to accounts, and we're going to see when we die, she had 373,000. All right. So again, you're sitting there saying to yourself, well, that doesn't sound like the annuity did anything. But check this out. What if we've made our portfolio more aggressive because we have this guaranteed income stream now? All right, so now we're going to go to analysis, and we're going to make our portfolio more aggressive because we need less of the portfolio from the front end. So now we're going to make our portfolio, we're going to make it aggressive. That's 80-20. And let's see what happens here. Look over this side. Look at that. Look at that. Now we're at 55%. Now our median net worth is 118. Median just means 50% of the time you have more, 50% of the time you have less. And look, she even right here, even when she's 90 years old, I mean, she still has 100, basically $120,000. That's in today's dollars is not 120,000, but she's still got 48,000 bucks in today's. But we were comparing future dollars versus future dollars, so she has double the amount of money left over that she did it the other way. She had a 10% increase in her probability of success, went from 50 to 55. Her median net worth is that she's leaving. Oops, I can't compare these guys right here. It went from 51 to 55, excuse me. So about an 8.5% increase in her probability of success. I mean, I'm telling you, man, that's a big deal. Let's see here. We go to summary cash flows. So the reason I'm saying this is because now we only need $18,000 off a portfolio that's worth 600,000 bucks. So 18 divided by 600, that's a 3% distribution amount, as opposed to before it was 4.2%, which means we can take more risk with our remaining investable assets. And more risk means there's potential for more return. And if we actually look at our chart here, an aggressive portfolio, look at this. We went from 5.3 to 5.7. Yeah, we're increasing our downside risk, our standard deviation, by 30%. But that extra 40 basis points over a 30-year time frame, that could be a significant difference in your overall ability to survive. And then people say, yeah, but the annuity isn't adjusted for inflation. 100% it's not. But it gives you the cash flow on the front end when you're young and dumb and full of something else, that you can enjoy it and reduce the risk off your portfolio. Because remember, the whole point about retirement planning is to avoid getting crunched in the first couple of years. And you'll hear me all the time. I say, the long term never comes in retirement plan. You know what I'm saying? It never comes. So people say stocks are less risky in the long run. The long run is always the long run. It's like trying to chase a dragon if you're addicted to heroin. You never catch the dragon. The dragon's right there. He's always out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the CCR song. Someday never comes. It's like freaking, the long run never comes in retirement planning. So the point being is now we can take more risk because we have less risk of our portfolio. We can take more long-term risk because we have less short-term risk. It's just that simple, man, because we have this annuity guaranteed, which means we're reducing the initial stress off our portfolio. So even though this annuity is flat, it's not, you see the annuity right here, then you can see the RMDs right here, but the annuity isn't paying anything more than $24,000. So that is being reduced by inflation, I grant you that, but the other stuff has more, can more grow, even only a 40 basis point increase. 5.3 to 5.7 might not sound like much, but then how much are we leaving at death in terms of linear? Before we're leaving 552, now we're leaving 595. So we're leaving almost 50,000 more because we can take more risk. Now, something to think about, man. I'm telling you, I love these annuities concepts. I think they're fantastic. Hold on a second. I would never do this, but you certainly could. You could say, well, hell's bells. I'm just going full. I would never do this, but let's just say we made it all in stocks. All stocks. My stock portfolio is a 6% rate of return as opposed to 5.7. That might be down a little bit. Yeah, it went down because we have a lot more risk in all stocks. So we see our all stock portfolio right here is 6%, but the standard deviation is 17.3. So I wouldn't do that. But still, if you went to aggressive right here, 80-20, 5.7 to 13.2% standard deviation versus 5.3 to the 10.2% standard deviation, you can see we reduced our risk. Let me get this right here. In terms of running out of money, I got hit this guy right here. Run out of money. Reduced our risk. Now, if we actually went to, instead of doing inflation adjusted, let's do this right here. Hold on a sec. I come over here or go to profile. And what if we reduced our expenditures because we know that most people's spending goes down as they age. So we're going to hit retirement spending stages. Watch what happens here. And I haven't run this with the other one yet either. So we're going to do retirement spending stages. Now instead of 55%, we're at 70. What's the difference here? Yeah, right there. We're at 71 and 72% respectively. Our median liquid net worth is $444,000 if we're an aggressive portfolio, which you should be if you're doing an income. If you're doing an income annuity, you should increase the aggressiveness of your portfolio to compensate for the fact the income annuity is flat. You're not getting any inflation-adjusted income annuities now. So you say, look, because I'm taking all this money, I park it in a fixed rate of return, i.e. an income annuity that will not go up with inflation, I need to have more agility to compensate for inflation, and that would be with the equity market. And the long-term growth of the equity market still dwarfs that of the stock market. It does. I mean, will it? I don't know, but historically it has. So we're basically covering both. We're covering all bases here. We got income, we got less risk, because that leads us to be able to. But we don't have inflation coverage, so that means we can have more risky portfolio to more recognize the potential for inflation. I was getting ready to say something else. Oh, now let's do it without the annuity here. All right, so 71, 72. We're going to put this back to $1 million. And I don't sell annuities, my friend. So, you're just an annuity shill. I don't sell annuities. I just don't. So you say it all you want. It doesn't matter. Hit income here. We're going to get rid of this. Just put that zeroed out. I just think it's stupid to say annuities are bad. What are we doing here? Now we're going to hit retirement. And we're going to go, this will probably be, 64 and 63. And again, that's with retirement spending stages right here where we're at. Let me show you what that means. So retirement spending stages, what it simply means is that you drop your expenditures. So we're inflating expenditures each and every year until we hit 75. And then it's going to drop by 10%. All right, so 60,500, then it drops by 10% to 53,000. Then when we hit 85, it's going to drop by another 10% here, from 69 to 61. I mean, the numbers are there. Now what I'm going to do in the next video, I'm going to use my man Dan Culber's bucket scenario, and we're going to do the exact same thing looking at historical numbers, because these are futuristic numbers based on what I think the markets are going to do going forward. I get these models off the Vanguard stuff. All right, so I'm telling you, the proof is right there. I mean, in terms of historic rates of return, no, because I haven't looked at historic rates of return. I'm going to do that later tonight. But in terms of futuristic, whoa, futuristic, you're a futurist like Rick Edelman. In terms of prognostication with my lower rates of return going forward, man, we're looking pretty good, dude. Don't overlook income annuities, I'm telling you. All right, God bless. Love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget, I'm getting some good emails on my investment course. So if you sat through 14 minutes and 29 seconds of me yapping, my investment course, no longer on sale, but you can buy it for $200. You can get a run at it and you say, look, you don't like it, you get money back guaranteed. You got 30-day free look. There's literally nothing to lose except your ignorance. All right, love to hear your thoughts. God bless.